Boker Tov, good morning. Today is Friday, April 21st, Erev Shabbat, Parshat Tazria Metzora, also Rosh Chodesh. What is the central point of Parshat Tazria and Metzora together? It focuses on the various ways in which a human body, a living human body, might create ritual impurity, from childbirth to that which oozes and is emitted from the body on the two bookends of Tazria and Metzora. But in the center, the focus is on a specific tuma, on a specific ritual impurity that's created by the presence of tzarat. Tzarat being as the Rambam says, a collective phrase, Shem Hamor B'Shutafut, that Kolel Inyanim Harbeh. It describes a few different types of things. That which could appear on the body, on the skin, the hair, and the relationship between the two, and the discoloration. That which could appear on clothing, and that which could actually end up appearing on the walls of the house. And one could imagine that indeed one central theme. I can imagine some type of fungus that could somehow live in these three settings. That's a possibility, I guess, right? But for the Rambam, because it's such disparate places where it resides on the human body and on a house and on fabric, it must be indeed a shem kolel. It's a general thing that is there to describe something else. And as the Rambam lays it out, what the Rambam interestingly does, and this is in the Laws of Tzarat, chapter 16, Law 10, he says the following, that what he does is reorganizes the way it's presented in the Torah. The Torah presents all of Parshas Tazria's discussion. It's about the tzarat on the human body, and then we talk about how to recover from that. That's the beginning of Parshas Metzora, and then we discuss tzarat on a clothing and tzarat on a house. The Rambam says you should understand how this really works, and let's read exactly what he says. You should know this is not something which is natural in the world. Ella ot ufela haya b'Yisrael. This was a sign and a wonder that existed specifically amongst Israelites. Nobody else would get tzarat. Other people got leprosy, but we're not talking about leprosy. This is specifically related to people of Israel. Kidei lahazhiran, in order to warn them against speaking lashon hara. Now, the Midrash actually contends that there are 10 different possible things for which nigaim, for which the plague of tzarat would come, including the 3 cardinal sins and other things as well. But it's very clear also that in the end we focus in on lashon hara as the source of whatever the divine visitation, as it were, and it's a warning about it. And so he tells you the flow works this way. So shamasaper b'lashon hara, someone who would speak lashon hara, evil speech, mishtano kiro beito, then the walls of your house would change their color, and im chazar bo yitar habayit, if you would pull back from this and do teshuvah, repentance, then your house would be purified. And if he stood in his wickedness, then you have to take the house apart. And then the leather things that were in the house, the same thing. And then your clothing, the same thing. It'll be there if you do teshuvah, not if you continue on until it gets to your body. And there you have this core message, right? That God was sending warnings in the reverse order of the way the Torah lays it out. God was sending warnings first just in front of you. If you see it on the wall, then you say, maybe I haven't been really thoughtful about the way the environment that I'm creating. And then it's on your clothing. That's the more direct interactions that you might have, and it's directly on your body, right? Then you're missing. God's driving home is clearly about that which your body is doing and what your mouth is saying. You have to walk around, as the Torah actually describes. Asafam yateh, Betamei tamei yikra. You have to cover your lip, and you have to walk around and saying tamei tamei, which isn't merely be careful because I am ritually impure, but rather it's these lips that created the ritual impurity that I'm experiencing now, and to the point where the Rambam says you have to sit alone, so that you don't have anybody else to share your evil speech with. He goes on to describe in a very powerful way how the source from Miriam and other ways for another time. But every time we come to Parshiot Tazria Metzora, it's a time for us to pause and to ask ourselves, what is it that we allow ourselves to say about other people? And how much we could use reminders and guardrails on all the levels around us to try to have us see what we're doing and pull ourselves back. We don't have those guardrails other than maybe caring people around us instead of them being partners with us. And if nothing else, then words of self-talk, we say, it's not right. I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't speak about somebody else. I shouldn't yenta. I shouldn't speak about other people. Shouldn't allow myself to say mean things or things that are just not right for other people to hear me say. If we don't have the external guardrails, we need to create them ourselves. Folks, be careful. Be careful what you allow yourself to say. Wishing you all a good Shabbos and a Shabbos of careful words.